after spending close to $2 million per month on just Performance Max campaigns alone, I can confidently say I'll never do any of these 5 mistakes ever again. The first one being treating Performance Max asset groups like a black box. Now, you may see your own team members doing this. You may see your own freelancers within your Google Ads account doing this, where they're treating essentially the asset group section of a PMax campaign as a black box, where they may have only one approach going on at any given time, or maybe a select few asset groups where there's really no different major intention behind these asset groups besides maybe testing different sub collections of your products, or just maybe testing different types of signals or search themes. And I call this the black box approach, because what this strategy does when it comes to Performance Max asset group section is it forces the asset group section to only basically repeat itself. Think of it like meta ads, or think of it like TikTok ads, where anytime you have different ad copies within a major campaign, it's to A/B test something. It's to maybe test a different video creative, a different image, or a different text altogether. So you want to approach the Performance Max campaigns asset group section in a similar manner, where you are approaching it in the intention of A/B testing something, and that too a very specific thing amongst the different asset groups you end up running. This could be A/B testing different types of images within it, or videos, or the text headlines, or signals, search themes. Whatever it is, you need to choose one specific A/B testing factor and go around testing just that, because otherwise it's very easy to run a bunch of different things within the asset group section but have no clear idea what's getting tested, what's actually working, what's not working. Because again, unlike meta ads, unlike TikTok ads, Google ads and PMax in general, it hides a lot of information. Although it may seem like you have a lot of control now compared to before, reality is you still lack a lot of the control, a lot of the insights, which can further help you scale that Performance Max campaign. So be very careful. Don't allow your team to treat it like a black box, because ultimately what will happen is Google will end up taking a lot of your money for those asset groups, and you'll have zero idea what's truly working, what's truly scaling your brand. Mistake number 2 I'll never do again is random target ROAS or target CPA restrictions on the Performance Max campaigns. You may have some Performance Max campaigns running at certain restrictions at this point of time, and you really have no idea where these numbers came from. Maybe these numbers are just break-even numbers for your brand. Maybe these numbers are numbers which make you profitable with your brand. Whatever it is, majority of the time when I'm auditing brands under my Google Ads agency, what I come to realize is that these ROAS restrictions, these CPA restrictions these brands have going on, they have no real data backing them up. So as a result, they're just random numbers running within those campaigns, and anytime you have random numbers, that really prevents your brand from truly scaling to the next level. So what we like to do, a kind of a solution to this problem, is to essentially use real data backed numbers for restrictions. So if you see last 28 days, your average ROI for that PMax campaign is maybe 400%, then you want to set your target restrictions at 350 or 380 or 450, a little bit below or a little bit above, depending on how you're wishing to scale your brand, whether it's for revenue or profitability. But always use real numbers, because again, if you're not using real numbers, you're just guessing random numbers, and Google never truly works in that manner. And I know this because we scale brands with the right numbers under my Google Ads agency or marketing, which if you run a brand doing $50,000 or more per month in revenue, we need some extra help scaling to the next level with Google Ads. Go onto my website at yourmarketing.com, schedule a completely free call with me, and let's see how we can potentially work together and make that happen. But third mistake I will never do again with PMax is focusing only on PMax. Now, I see this happen even to this day with so many brands where their major focus, a lot of their budget, I would say 90 to 95% of their budget is going towards Performance Max only. What they fail to realize is a Performance Max campaign is designed to maximize your existing performance. That's essentially why it's called Performance Max. But if you don't already have good data coming in, if your performance is already pretty shaky, adding more PMax to the overall setup, it's not gonna do any magic. It's not gonna flip the switch, so to speak, overnight. You still need data coming in from other campaigns apps, whether it's standard shopping, search, YouTube, demand gen, display, so on and so forth. Ideally, the bare minimum you should have running at any given time is a Performance Max campaign and a standard shopping campaign running side by side. That's literally it. And the main goal behind this is to allow, number one, your products to enter more auctions and essentially win more auctions, because now you're going with double force within that auction, bidding 2 times instead of 1. but also it allows you now to know if your brand does better with PMaxes or standard shopping, because with Google's most recent update now, PMax and standard shopping actually compete side by side, and whatever has the higher quality score is going to end up winning that auction. So forget only focusing on PMax. Use it as a starting point to then scale into different avenues, into different campaign types, and to ultimately introduce scale from all sides and angles versus just the PMax approach. Fourth mistake I'll never do with PMax again is ignoring the product feed. It goes back to the previous point I made where Performance Max is all about smart bidding, target ROAS, target CPA. So you have very little control over it, and the product feed, so to speak, with Performance Max, it's like the interest targeting for that campaign. The better quality your product feed is, the better your products will reach a higher quality audience in general. So Performance Max is purely smart bidding based, and it needs actual data to function and work properly. This data should be coming from your product feed directly, from the right titles, right descriptions, keywords within the Google Merchant Center, so on and so forth. Ignoring the product feed could be one of the biggest mistakes you make, especially if you want your brand to scale with Performance Max campaigns. Fifth and final major mistake I'll avoid at all costs with Performance Max is avoiding strategic negative keywords. Now, there's the right way to incorporate negative keywords within PMax, and there's the wrong way. The wrong way is to basically go in every few days, just add a bunch of negative keywords in based on the new keywords your brand is now ranking for. This is the wrong way, because ultimately Performance Max, because it's a smart bidding based campaign type, it needs even more time to optimize based on your last change that you did within the campaign. So if you're constantly every few days making more and more changes, adding more and more negative keywords, on the surface level this might seem like the right move, but internally what's happening is you're constantly resetting the learning phase with the PMax, and that's not going to let it allow it to become any smarter in any way, shape, or form. So you gotta give it time, let it run, and optimize on a set schedule that's a little bit longer, a little bit more elongated compared to what you would do with the other campaign types. But in addition, basically the right way to go after negative keywords with Performance Max is to go after education-based keywords. You want to completely get rid of them, exclude them, because a Performance Max campaign is designed for buying intent. It's directly leading your audience to your product pages. So there's no reason to be ranking for keywords like why does this product work or how does this product work. On a surface level, again, this might seem like the right move. However, it's kind of taking your brand further and further away from buying intentions, and it's making it difficult for your brand to truly scale to the highest buying intent audience, because over time, if you don't punish the algorithm by adding negative keywords, what will happen is now the algorithm will think, hey, these are right keywords, let's go after these keywords more and more, and you end up wasting a lot of your budget on unnecessary keywords. But the goal overall with negative keywords for PMax at least is to make it more cold traffic based over time, while we focus on budget distribution the right way to high buying intent keywords. That's literally it. Increase the budget allocation to high buying intent keywords over time while going after more and more cold traffic. That leads to higher ROI. You want to get rid of the low ROI keywords, those that don't really convert overall, and that's the main goal with negative keywords for a PMax. But 5 mistakes, 5 things you should never do with Performance Max. Again, if you run a brand doing $50,000 or more per month in revenue, you need some extra help scaling to the next level with Google Ads, go onto my website at yourmarketing.com, schedule a completely free call with me, and let's see how we can potentially work together and make that happen.